scripted. I wanna quit getting used against my enemies, yeah. You see, I wanted to save you and then learn how to raise you, but I forget you're from the wilderness.
Oh, hello there, everyone. What is up? I'm Rob.
I'm Eamon.
It is Monsterful.
It is.
How are you today, Eamon?
Very well.
Yeah?
So good.
This one came into my old inbox and I had a little chuckle.
You went, what the fuck? The young lad's been drinking again. It's an interesting one. I wanted to do it for ages and there is not a lot of information about this.
Oh, yeah.
So I had to splice together a few bits and pieces
nice.
So actually, the thing that is features here the least amount is a giant Antarctic spider. But
well,
I've done my best to try and bring it through, because we were asked for an episode ages ago and it was like conspiracies of the Antarctic. So we touch on a little bit of that, and this is one of them. This is a cool story. Sighting or shiting, you decide, but it's a cool story.
Speaking of cool stories from the Antarctic, my uncle Dan Brown actually wrote a book called Deception Point, which is all about the Antarctic and meteorites.
The deception that lies therein.
No, the loose premises is a meteorite hits the ice and they find alien DNA or something on the meteorite, and it's all very interesting.
And do they...
Dan Brown figures... Do
cool aliens come down, or is it just like that's the most boring style of alien finding, isn't it? Here's some cells of an alien, you're like, yeah, does this do anything cool? No. It's cooler than not finding it.
Do you think Dan Brown is going to be able to write a book that isn't cool?
I think Dan Brown is definitely making the aliens come down.
Of course he is, he's class. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope you're having a good day wherever you may be, and everything's going well for you and all that stuff, and you know your shiwi is firing properly.
Shiwi firing at a high pressure.
Will you find out? Can you before we do this? Can you find out what those shiwis are actually called?
I'm just going to type in shiwi and see what happens.
It probably is a shiwi.
It's a very good name.
It could
to be
be
fair. It's hard to argue with a name like that. She weeps over Rahoon. It's one of the things.
Shiwi could be a very sus.
Yeah, shiwi.
Is that what they're called?
Shiwi flexi. There's a shiwi, one looks like the Waven pipe, and then there's just shiwi flexi. It comes in a nice little, it's only like €6.
I'm a little bit disappointed that.
Female urination device.
Okay.
Woo,
right,
what
lads,
the fuck is this?
While Eamon looks up shiwis, I'm going to remind everyone that Patreon is the best way to support this show, and it helps us to continue to make these episodes, these highbrow sort of Citizen Kane episodes. Not only does it help us out, but you get something out of it. You'll get access to the Discord where you can come and hang out and have a chat. You get exclusive episodes which we recorded today, and you get all the other fucking crap, whatever. You can pay for the year if you want. You get 2 months for free. Eamon, if they've found a cryptid in Antarctica that is maybe a spider, where should they write into and tell us?
Yeah, if you found an Arctic cryptid, or indeed you've watched Citizen Kane but agree that it could use more giant spiders in its storytelling, write into us at monsterfuzzpodcast@gmail.com and we will read out your submission on a mini fuzz.
I've never seen Citizen Kane.
I think I watched it in school when I was like 16. We had to watch it.
Oh, okay. Crap.
And I was like a toddler trying to keep. I was like, I was so bored.
It's black and white, isn't it?
It's black and white. It's I think they used many camera techniques that had never been used before, so like it's a real landmark of filmmaking.
If you're into filmmaking, like
but if you're into Jurassic Park,
which we are,
maybe not one for you.
Well, Jurassic Park is our Citizen Kane.
I would argue it's better than Citizen Kane.
It is, yeah.
How many velociraptors are there in Citizen Kane?
0.
Donut. How many are there in Jurassic Park?
Loads.
There's definitely 2. Because they're the ones that work together, but there is more than that.
Because they fight the T-Rex at the end.
Shoot her! Shoot her!
Clever girl.
Class. Imagine being in that park.
Just realised that these last couple of paragraphs between us is like literally like a fly on the wall watching Love on the Spectrum.
Friends on the spectrum. This is
two friends making noises about their autistic interest.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 3rd episode we're recording today, so delirium has set in. For me, delirium tremens. So
go ahead and let us know a little bit about the Arctic.
Okay, so look, we'll get into it. Basically, long story short, there was a weird photo taken in the Arctic, and it looks kind of like a spidery thing.
End of episode.
Yeah, that's it. Join us next week. So on February 2021, I believe it was February 14th, so a very lonely person on Valentine's Day.
Podcast was happening.
That's right,
Fuzz
actually.
era.
I've had this one in the notes of podcasts to do for a few years now.
Good, yeah, cool.
So a strange image appears in Google Earth. It looks like a multi-legged, sizeable organism that's seen walking along the polar caps of Antarctica. Now, it looks real. It doesn't look obviously doctored. And if you look at the full image...
It's a spider. It's a giant spider.
It's a giant spider. I don't know what to tell you. It's a giant spider. Case closed. So why is it interesting that it's Antarctica? Well, Antarctica is the coldest, driest and windiest of all the continents. And it also has the highest average elevation. So it's basically what people call a polar desert. So imagine if the sand was ice. There you go.
Sandstorm.
There's an annual precipitation of over 8 inches along the coast and far less inland. About 70% of the world's freshwater reserves are frozen in Antarctica, which if melted would raise global sea levels by almost 60 meters. That's a conspiracy. Don't believe that.
Fake.
That's not happening.
Fake.
There's no problem with rising heat levels in the world.
Fake.
It's fine. Fake news. Antarctica holds the record for the lowest measured temperature on Earth at minus 89.2
It's also fake.
degrees Celsius. That's probably fake
No
as
one
well.
proved that.
Yeah, true. The coastal regions, the highest temperature they can reach is like a plus 10 degrees Celsius. So for our American listeners, that's 50 degrees Fahrenheit, which is still fairly Baltic,
Lord of mercy.
so to speak. Now, why are we talking about this? So the animals native to this area are mites, nematodes.
You
What
never
are
heard
they?
of a nematode?
Nematode.
Like a little worm. Nematodes are.
Nematode. I found a worm in my jacks the other day,
In your toilet.
which means that
That's
there's
the
probably
sign
a
of
crack
a
in
bigger
the plumbing.
problem.
Yeah.
that's
So what I did is I flushed it away and I thought to myself, let's not think about this for a while. I have 2 other toilets. It'll probably be fine.
nematodes. Yeah, nematodes are cute. Like
Okay. Cute little
parasitic
worms.
nematodes.
Class. We have penguins and seals. They're very friendly animals.
Tardigrades.
Yeah.
Yeah. The boys. Space
Boys.
pigs.
Space pigs, having the crack. So the vegetation that occurs here is mostly in the form of lichen or moss. So the idea is, could it be possible that this hostile environment could harbour giant invertebrates? Well, Rob, yes, there have been giant sea spiders found in the Arctic.
Oh, Jesus. Well, now I'm intrigued. Because a lot of our listeners would have jumped over on Jabba Fofi, where we basically
I
rubbished.
purposely tried to make no reference to Jabba Fofi in this, but yes, Jabba Fofi is at the forefront of our minds when we talk about
rubbished. It's the idea. But anyway, sea spiders.
this. I came here for conspiracies, not giant spiders.
Antarctic sea spiders are found all the way along the coast of Antarctica at depths of more than 1,800 meters. Yeah, they hang out down in the sea.
They're mad.
Yeah,
looking
they
yolks.
are mad looking.
Mad. Did you ever see? You didn't go to any aquariums when you were in Japan, where they don't give a fuck about sea life.
Been to aquariums in Valencia, which is very good.
And did you see any of the sea spiders?
I don't know if they had them. They had belugas. Well, you know,
They had a sea spider in
right.
where like it was just basically like a window. Obviously, there was
in a
water
shop, though.
behind.
Probably
It was just in a
got
shop.
the fucker,
They
were
were
they?
just selling sea spiders, and they were just walking around delirious.
Picking out with your net.
Yeah, but they're spooky looking and they're big.
Yeah.
They're super big.
Yeah.
You know, now these things are different, but
Eamon, you silly fucker. They're not spiders, they're crustaceans. Yeah. Oh, they're not crustaceans, actually. They're marine arthropods.
everyone's silly today.
Now, they belong to a family called the Pycnogonidae, something like that. Now, sometimes they're referred to as pantopoda, meaning all legs. Sea spiders we had a lad from town, Jelly Legs Mick, didn't we?
Yeah, he came from the sea.
Or no, Crazy Legs, wasn't Jelly Legs Mick.
All right, we're going real.
Blue Bottle Face Martin was another. Blue
Bottle face, Martin. No.
Jelly Legs Mick.
Blue bottle face. Fuck's sake.
Jeff Gold blue
Well, they're
bottle
two
face.
extra cryptids. No, they weren't even. Jelly eggs making blue bottle face martin aren't extra cryptids, but they're from Ireland. Blue bottle face martin, do you not remember him?
No.
No.
No. I'm imagining a man with a horrible face. Is that about right?
I'd say maybe a bit like Jeff Goldblum in The Fly, maybe.
Jeff
bottle
Goldblum
face
very
man.
handsome.
In The Fly, not so much.
When he turns into the fly. Before he turns into the fly.
But what about when he's
Banging Gina
halfway?
Davis having a great time. Oh, not great.
Not great.
Not great.
He's all vomiting up on himself.
What do they call him?
Like me after a couple of rums.
Grundleby? Grundlefly?
Grundlefly?
Grundlety Dundle. Scotty too hot again.
Rumpelstiltskin.
Rumpelstiltskin.
Yeah.
Grumblefly, I think is his name, is it? Just call him. I am the fly.
Blue bottle face Martin, man.
Blue bottle face Martin. Like, I love how he just put his real name. Blue bottle face Martin.
You have a head that size and it's all swollen and ignorant. Do you have a big swollen ignorant head?
Do you know what word isn't used enough?
What?
Gormless.
Gormless.
I love
is
saying
good,
someone
yeah.
with a big gormless head.
Yeah. So, yeah, sea spiders have 5 pairs of legs, apparently. I just think about blue bottle face
As
Martin.
this one's fallen apart at the seams, this is where we are now tonight, I'm afraid.
An example of gigantism wherein an animal usually grows unusually large due to his lack of predators. That's how blue bottle face Martin came to be.
His face grew unusually blue thanks to his gigantism.
And others that would limit their size, the Antarctic sea spider can grow more than 30 centimetres in diameter, which is about the length of a chihuahua. The European sea spider, by comparison, is just a few centimetres
Oh,
long.
what a loser.
Indeed. Giant sea spider's vital organs are kept in its legs because it doesn't have much of a body to speak of. Its proboscis is also important because that's what it uses to suck the insides out of worms, jellyfish, sponges, and other soft.
So it doesn't have
prey.
like spider mouth. The legs are everything to this underwater menace.
I was reading about worms the other day.
Good lads, in my toilet up there if you want any, I can catch a few for you.
Interesting worms are, I think they're trans worms or asexual, is it? Or no, hermaphrodite. No, I think they're hermaphrodite.
Intersex.
Worms. Intersex.
Right.
Is hermaphrodite not a thing anymore?
I think that is intersex.
All right.
isn't it?
Okay. No, I thought like hermaphrodite was
All
something
right.
you can't say anymore or something. But no, it's
I'm not aware. Maybe this will be the podcast where they figure I don't think he should be saying that. I don't think he should be saying that at all. I don't know.
no worms or something like that. Do they ride themselves, worms?
I know you can cut them in two and they head off.
I don't know if that happens.
I think when you cut them in two, one
I think
becomes
that's a
male
myth.
and one becomes female, and then they go off.
I think that's a myth, because I've been out eating worms as I've been shoveling stuff and all. I don't think they come back.
Some of them are very big.
Some of them
Very
actually
big
properly bleed.
bulbous. Yeah.
Bit of red blood out of them, and you're like, Jesus, what are you doing that for?
I throw a few
Stop
of
with
them on
it.
the pan.
The robin then flies down, and the robin does be watching you going, who's on him?
I guess that big bulbous one. What kind of sex organ does this worm have at all?
Yeah, I don't know. I was reading about him, and there was something weird about him, but it's gone from my head, so let's just move on.
They're in my jacks is probably the weirdest thing I've found. Just one, but it does mean that there's a...
That's the canary in the coal mine.
Yeah.
The worm in the urinal, so to
it
speak.
means that the roots are going towards my arsehole.
Roots, bloody roots. The giant sea spider's vital organs yet are in the legs. It's possible that there's been some strange mutation that's happened that's allowed these spiders to get giant and to roam Antarctica. Or is there a conspiracy at play? Tune in on this week's Those Conspiracy Dudes to find out about the Antarctic sea spider.
Bigfoot something, JFK! Say one thing, I don't get any royalties for that song.
You should.
I'm joking. I gave it of my own accord.
I'm going to get our solicitors to write into Gordo.
Cease and desist.
Yeah, I think I should.
I'm joking. Gordo's been very good to me. So these are jokes. It's a comedy podcast, ladies and gentlemen, about fucking Antarctica
No, it's not a joke.
conspiracies.
I'm suing him. It's been bad to me.
I don't think you're allowed to sue on my behalf. I don't think. I own Eamon O'Neill.
I own you.
I own all his works.
Yeah, I'm like WWE. Like you signed the likeness
Yeah.
rights and everything.
Are we gonna? We're like,
Like,
if
I'm
one of us
making
ever
them
has a kid, we'll have a
figures.
custody ladder match.
Right, and fill us in there on these
So Antarctica,
conspiracies. We
many
love 'em.
conspiracies. So there are loads of conspiracies around Antarctica, including, as we may have guessed, secret Nazi bases.
Ah, yes, of course.
He's under the Scheiße. He probably said something like that. So there was the German Antarctic expedition of 1938 to 39. Now, we did this in an episode previously, and it was about Nazi occultism, I believe.
Oh yeah, people love that one.
Oh, that was when we got the bad review on. What was the review again? It was just like,
Some
this
like
is
complete
shit.
Utter
hate
nonsense or
this.
something like complete
Yeah,
idiot crap.
that's fair. Imagine coming to this episode and thinking, oh wow, there must be some sort of giant spider that exists in the Arctic, and then we're mouthing off about worms in the toilet, trans worms, the garden. What else have we been talking about? Dross, I'm sure.
Jurassic Park.
Class movie.
Yeah,
I would every episode of this should just be us talking about how good Jurassic Park is, which I believe that actually comes into most
I think
episodes.
so, yeah.
Anyway, the Nazis, 38 to 39, they carried out the first aerial surveys of Queen Maud Land, east of the Weddell Sea, wherever the fuck these things are. The Germans were keen to thwart Norwegian territorial claims to the area, so the expedition was instructed to drop markers from their planes to back up their claim.
Funny thing, ain't it? Like that back then, they were just like, "Oh, here's a marker. I own that."
Yeah, I'm taking this. This is just the late stages of imperialism.
But it's just like it's even just all like kind of crap that it's almost like, why would you even bother? Like, surely, like it's just a waste of time and energy to do that. Like, surely, like if Norway say rock up, right, they're going to rock up onto Weddell Maud Land, right, in the Weddell Sea. There's like
turn around, boys.
No, but there's like 5 people there, right? So they get off their boat and they're like, "Oh yeah, let's set up a shack with a Norwegian flag." Surely, like if Germany wanted it, they could just send down a couple of paratroopers to yeet all of them, take the fucking thing, and then it's less time and resources and effort. You know, why are you out throwing little markers down? Like who's gonna honor a marker? Like,
No, you're right. And in fact, the markers that they used were actually little metal swastikas,
right?
which is
Little swastika caltrops.
you can use as ninja stars. So I guess that's a pro of the swastika, that little metal swastika. A major con is the massive anti-Semitism that it represents. So now you can't use them anymore, and rightly so, unless
you're in
see
Asia.
Kanye West sucking off his cousin there till he was 14 or
it's not
whatever.
about that, yeah.
You can't really be angry at him anymore when he explained why he's so mental.
Yeah, I don't.
What age were you when you stopped sucking off your cousin? I was like way
Never
younger than
started.
14.
Are you? Fair
Yeah,
enough.
no, I should look. I was the oldest cousin. Actually. I should. Yeah, man, it's a
Metal swastikas.
metal swastika. It's a funny thing. It's
You go
kind
to
of.
Asia, they don't care about them because they're totally different meaning altogether.
But that's where
Funny,
it comes
ain't it?
from.
Yeah, I know,
it came
it's
from. Yeah,
co-opted it, but
and yeah, there's a lot of stuff for theirs about like power and blah blah blah. Because yeah, the swastika I think has a more.
no, it means something totally different. Like,
No, there's a comic book called, I want to say, Lone Wolf and Cub.
right,
Could be wrong though. Or what's the other one?
the Hitler is Cold Chronicles.
Lone Wolf and Cub. I don't think it's that. There's none, but basically there's a discllaimer on it because the character has a swastika on his gi.
Yeah,
And
you sure no,
you're not allowed to have swastikas on gis anymore because like that would be confusing. But yeah, he has a swastika on it, and they have a disclaimer to explain that at the time that this is set, the swastika was like not called the swastika, and it was like a symbol of kind of I think a symbol of power or something like that. I assume it is because that seems like
It
the
still
thing
is. I mean, you go
Nazis
to
would
any
co-opt.
motherfucking temple in Japan and the swastikas all over
They
that
still have them
shit.
there, yeah. Well, they were there first.
Well, sure, they don't give a fuck about Hitler anyway. Like, it's like us, like with some random ass motherfucking Asian dictators. Like, we don't know half of them. Do you know what I mean? Like, we don't. Like, there's probably Asian dictators and Asian figures that are like the boogeymen over there
Yeah.
that we don't really know as well. Like,
Something tells me the Japanese have
The
more
Japanese
than a
do.
passing interest
Yeah.
in World War II.
no,
yeah.
but like the likes of like Malaysia and places like that where the symbols are used. And even India. The boys don't give a fuck in India.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
They're just living it up, man.
Because like, did the Nazis really get to India? No, not really, right? Do you know?
I don't know. It's like that time when
St. Bob's and Virgin.
Yeah. Well, say there wasn't a lot of Bobs and Virgin getting sent. Was Nazi Germany like a sexy?
No.
Do you know what I mean? Like a lot of the women were wearing black leather. Was there weird? I feel like there was weird sex stuff going on. I think you're getting
Nazi Germany mixed up with a Rammstein music video.
That's what it is.
I don't know. I don't think they wore leather.
I don't know, man.
No, I think they all kind of dressed a bit like
filthy,
like your Randy and fucking Mass on a Sunday.
Oh, really? There's Christian
like
1939 Christian
long
values,
dresses and not even flowy dresses, like long kind of dresses that are made out of like fucking felt or something. Do you know felt dress?
There, doesn't it? Yeah. Like a dress that you could turn into a craft if you wanted to.
Yeah, like a felt.
I'm just crafting my felt dress.
And I want them little bowl hats and all that. That's how they dressed.
Yeah.
There wasn't a bit
That's
of
not very.
there wasn't sexiness.
There wasn't a lot of sexiness.
There would have been burlesque.
The swinging.
There's a bit of the swinging
20s.
That's the roaring 20s.
The roar. What was the
60s.
swinging 60s? Yeah.
Shite 40s.
Shite 40s.
Grand 30s. Alright 10s.
The poor 2020s.
Yeah, that was history.
Yeah, well, there we go. Well, anyway, so when their mapping was complete and they had run all out of metal swastikas, their research lay unpublished for several decades, and it actually wasn't found until well after the closure of the Second World War. 2 months after the Nazis' defeat in 1945, 2 German U-boats surrendered in Buenos Aires, sparking rumour that it had been carrying senior Nazis into exile in South America. Now,
hint, it was
Argentina. Yeah. The source of, and you can see the notes here say this. There's no evidence of this. Say there's maybe no smoking gun, but there's little speckles of evidence as to why there's a big wedge of this place in Argentina that everyone's German. Argentina rather.
No, well, there's a lot of evidence that they were playing to Argentina, and indeed Mengele was caught in Argentina, or he died in Argentina. Was it Argentina he died, or was it Brazil he died, or something like that?
Yeah,
died in swimming pool, I think. Swimming, having a crack,
heart attack,
probably. Yeah, danger of death. Yeah, we should do an episode on him because the stuff that he was doing was like
with the twins.
He was basically like trying to make cryptids, so we should probably.
Angel of death.
He was an evil bastard. The most evil bastard. Actually, no, the Japanese were worse, to be fair to him. But
yeah, but they became sound over time. Mengele just died in a
they went on to give us Pokemon, so you kind of forgive them.
Dun, dun, dun. You know? Yeah, that's class, like. Yeah. And
Nintendo.
They popularized autism.
They did.
So
country
that's
of
pretty
autists.
good. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. All is forgiven, Japan. Class. So, anyway, they're all out there. Ladislas Szabo in 1947 wrote a book that tied the U-boats to the German Antarctic expedition, claiming that it had been part of a mission to carry the Nazi leadership to New Berchtesgaden, a secret base constructed by the earlier expedition. As the story grew in the retelling, even Hitler's ashes were eventually relocated to this base and displayed in a spectacular ice cave to inspire the new Reich.
Oh, right.
Like a Wolfenstein video game.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Some propagators of this conspiracy theory would go on to say that the Nazis continue to exist in the Arctic, carrying out all manner of diabolical experiments, including perhaps big giant spider sciences.
Class.
So that's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Last week, we also covered the Hollow Earth theory.
We did, yeah.
Long story short, that theory proposes that there is an interior Earth that can be accessed via the Arctic poles.
True.
Inside, there is strange flora and fauna, including perhaps giant gross spiders.
Facts, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Speaking facts there, Eamon.
I'm spitting truth,
yeah,
as the man says.
Now, we're going on to Operation High Jump here. Operation High Jump, which was known as the United States Navy Antarctic Developments Program, took place between August 1946 and February 1947. It was led by Rear Admiral Richard E. Byrd. He was a famed polar explorer. He was also involved in a massive deployment. 13 ships, 33 aircraft, and over 4,700 personnel. The mission's stated goals were to establish the Antarctic research base Little America 4. Class.
Little America 4 Arcade Edition.
New blood. Train personnel for cold weather conditions, test equipment in extreme climates, and consolidate American sovereignty over as much of Antarctica as possible.
Why don't we have any Burger King or flame char grilled burgers in Antarctica?
It was one of the largest Antarctic expeditions ever launched and marked a significant military presence in the region during the early Cold War. Though Operation High Bump was planned to last 6 to 8 months, it ended abruptly after just 2 months. Are you chuckling away there, eh?
You just said Operation High Bump.
Did I?
Yeah, and it just made me giggle because I had a quick image of all these American generals just taking keys off
That's
the
what
bag.
happened then.
You want another key, Corporal Admiral, sir?
Official reports blamed extreme weather, injuries, and a tragic plane crash. However, the quick withdrawal has fueled speculation for decades.
Sometimes you have to make a quick withdrawal.
See, case in point, Afghanistan.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get out, lads.
Yeah.
Also, Vietnam. Let's get out, lads. Don't blame yous. Don't blame yous.
Yous haven't won a war since fucking 1940.
No, sure, the fucking Iraq, they fucking shot all over the
Iraq.
guns.
Oh, do you remember, sure?
Iraq.
The fella stabbed in the arse with a bayonet.
That was the other one. That was the man, the legend,
As
Gaddafi.
There's
Muammar
no way
Gaddafi.
that insurgents will rise up and take power now.
Poor old Gaddafi.
Democracy burgers.
Rest in peace, King.
Rest in power, Gaddafi.
No, the fucking Saddam, they wrecked Iraq, like, sure, they fucking bombed, they bombed the Iraqis, like.
And they were just like,
The Iraqis were
did
just
we ever find any of this
routed.
stuff?
They were routed in fucking days, like, sure, they just pissed all over them, sure. So they won that war.
They did.
Yeah, Afghanistan, the boys are just a pain in the hole.
Pretense.
The boys are just a pain in the arse. Afghanistan, they're just a pain in the arse.
They're deploying camel spiders.
They're just annoying, like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, leave me alone, stop bugging me.
Lights out, guerrilla warfare.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah. No, you can't win.
No,
You can't win.
I've already seen everything.
It's too late. I'm in the tree. It's too late.
Conspiracy theorists like Gordo argue that something far more serious must have happened. Something not publicly disclosed. This early end forms a core pillar of the theory that US Navy encountered unknown threats, possibly involving advanced technology or entities hidden under the ice.
Like a giant spider!
Oh, see the Iceman, perhaps?
I don't think he'd be up to much, would he?
You never know.
I suppose.
Anything's possible. The mythos surrounding Operation High Jump is heavily tied to Admiral Byrd himself. Conspiracy theorists often cite an alleged quote from a Chilean newspaper, El Mercurio, in which Byrd supposedly said the US must prepare to face aircraft that can travel from pole to pole at incredible speeds.
And has this not come to pass?
It has. According to fucking, what's his name? Elizondo.
Oh yeah, but sure, he might be a bit
Bollocks.
chill. I can't even believe what my eyes are showing me anymore.
If you thought this was good, wait until July.
You'll never believe that disclosure is happening next month. But what year?
This has been interpreted by UFO researchers as evidence that Byrd witnessed flying saucers or advanced aerial
Could you
craft.
have alien spider creatures?
I like to think it's UFOs aren't actually aircraft, but rather spiders flying through the sky.
When they come out of the water, they turn into, except that one in the picture, which didn't.
Seen a centipede the other day, actually, that was interesting.
Yeah, I always used to be afraid as a child they'd get into my ear.
They can do.
I know.
If they
I
want
used
to.
to fear it as a child. When when you lie in bed and you can hear your heartbeat,
Yeah.
I was too stupid to know that was my
Same,
heartbeat, and I
same.
thought that a centipede was biting my eardrum. And
They call him a centipede. There.
because he was in the center of my mind, biting my eardrum. No, not anymore, centipedes. Did you ever see that video where the lady thinks that centipedes are called beautiful? It's a deadly video. There's this old woman, and she's like, "Oh, there's so many. There's all these little pedophiles all over the door, and I can't get rid of them." It's fucking brilliant. She goes, "The pedophiles keep coming in by the window." I'll show you afterwards. It's quality.
Yeah, centipedes. Watch out. Yeah.
Oh,
Centipedes are kind of alien almost.
what a good episode.
Highbrow stuff. Yep. So pole to pole at incredible speeds. This has been interpreted by UFO researchers as evidence that bird witnessed flying saucers. However, the authenticity of the quote is debated, as it does not appear in any official documentation from the US.
Please.
Let me tell you a
Come
little
on.
bit. Still, it has become a cornerstone of the belief that bird encountered extraterrestrial or non-human technology in Antarctica.
Fuck your shit up.
Another layer of the conspiracy links Operation High Jump to the theory that a secret Nazi base is hanging out in Antarctica. Proponents claim that Bird's task was actually sent to locate and neutralize these outposts. Some even go as far to say that the expedition engaged in combat with Nazi flying discs, a battle which forced the US Navy to retreat prematurely. I'd imagine so, by Nazi flying discs to fuck your day up.
Nazi flying discs. Do you imagine just a disc with a giant swastika on it using anti-grav technology? I'd be like, eesh. Yikes.
I do like that theory that like the Nazis just became too advanced for Earth, and instead of Hitler shooting himself, YouTube algorithm himself in a bunker in Berlin, he was like, no, I'm going to go off in me fucking UFO. But
Can you imagine like one day
yeah,
the bombs are raining down on Palestine and fucking Robo Hitler has just had enough. He's got a proper nag on. Can you imagine like they just Nazi flying saucers with Sasuke start blowing up these Israelis? That would be like,
could happen. Watch out.
Could happen.
They need to watch out. They should be watching out. They shouldn't be throwing bombs at Palestinians. They should be watching for robot UFOs.
I feel like we're on a line right now.
Yeah.
And a step in any direction could be fatal. I feel like we should just reel it back in and get on with our day. A step forward or backwards could sink the whole podcast.
Listen, you went over to the Middle East there. I was just talking about Jesus flying, or not Jesus, sorry.
Now Jesus is
flying
a
around
Nazi.
in a disc.
Adolf Hitler. Like Dr. Robotnik just coming it up on.
It's yeah, I mean, there's a book for you. We're giving our listeners an idea there that, you know, they didn't lose the war. They were like, we don't need art anymore. We're off.
Yeah, up to
that's
the stars.
That's why, you know, the Allies were able to progress so much, because the lads are gone. The lads are up on Mars.
He was like, it'll be at least 80 years before Elon Musk sends a car up here. Or all them girls that went into space there the other day.
Oh yeah, Katy Perry.
And what was really didn't work out the way she hoped it would.
Which is basically Katy Perry's career for the last like 15 years.
That seems to be the case. It's not about me, but I'm going to sing a song in space.
God love her.
Yeah.
Just like...
Back in the day, remember she was doing the BBC Unplugged? She did some cool management song.
Did she?
Treat me like the electric field or something like that. She sang it well. Yeah. She wasn't in space. She didn't need to be in space.
Katy Perry just...
She kissed a girl and she liked it. She was always courting controversy, I think. That was her career. Fireworks, good song.
Yeah.
You know, baby, I'm a firework.
What's the other one? You're gonna hear me roar.
No need to go into space. Just make another good song. How about that? How about that, musicians? Make another good song. Because she went up into space and then sang fucking Louis Armstrong's What a Wonderful World.
Which is basically like that's literally this year's version of Gal Gadot doing Imagine. With all
At least Gal Gadot was just on a fucking Teams
that was
call.
awful.
You know, it was objectively awful.
A Teams call. They all did a clip to send in for their
remember the part where they all started telling that, like, after they got that out of the way, then they did one when they were all like, I'm racist. Did they all make? They all made a big video, and they were all like, even your man from Breaking Bad was like, I didn't know it, but it turns out, and they're all just like,
they're all up to
I'm sorry, I have sinned in my thoughts.
That's what happens when a bunch of attention-seeking motherfuckers don't get attention.
Do you know what black lads
like
love now?
5
They'd love if I told them that I didn't know that I was being racist.
They just start acting like unhinged.
To be fair, there's a certain amount. I think when you get to a certain amount of fame, you have a choice to go to the island of the famous or to be shot in the head, and they're the only two options.
Yeah,
and that's it. Like,
yeah.
And the island of the famous has no cameras. You had your time.
Yeah.
Time's up.
No, I'm with you.
Hashtag time's up.
Now, there's another layer to the conspiracy onion that links Operation High Jump to the theory of a secret Nazi base in Antarctica. Did I do this?
Yeah, so basically they're fighting flying discs and all.
Yeah.
They said no evidence exists to support that, but I'd debate that.
Yeah,
no evidence exists
I
because
think that's true.
Here we
actually.
are. But we're getting back to the actual giant spider story now. This is what you came here for. If you're still here, fair play to you.
Well
I doubt it.
Congrats.
35 minutes, and we're only now talking about it. February 2021. The 14th, Valentine's Day.
Oh, no.
What sort of loser
Love
is putting
in the air.
out posts about giant spiders instead of getting his dick drilled?
Docked.
Space dogging.
Everyone's getting docked.
This is Monsterful Podcast, voted most homo-friendly podcast of 2025.
Yeah, we're like the Kylie Minogue of podcasts.
Kylie Minogue, I believe.
Yeah.
So an image surfaces on Google Earth, and it shows what looks like a massive insect or spider-like creature on the frozen, rocky ice sheets of Antarctica. A Reddit user claimed that his father was stationed at this base in Antarctica in the 1990s, and that his father told him wild stories that there are strict restriction zones all over the southern pole. The user's father, who was reportedly the only doctor at the base, revealed that he had to perform pathology on deceased individuals and discovered that a significant number of these deaths appeared to be caused by attacks from an unknown creature.
Do you see this thing? I think this is real and it's not like some kind of fictional story I'm conjuring up in my head. Isn't there a base somewhere in one of these frozen shitholes recently where one of the crew went mad?
I don't know.
I think so.
I suspect it's easy enough to go mad in Antarctica.
Did they murder someone or did they try and murder someone? And the other couple of crew basically locked themselves in somewhere, and it takes months to get to them.
So they were just stuck.
So they're like, it's like The Thing basically.
Yeah. But just mental health edition.
I think now, I don't know if this could very well be a dream that I had, but I'm fairly sure this is real. That researchers.
This almost sounds like the plot to the last season of True Detective.
You read the rest of that, or I'm going to find out this.
So his dad's a doctor. Now he was ordered to report all these deaths as cases of hypothermia. How rude. The Reddit user's father also referred to these creatures as striders and described them as giant spiders the size of greyhounds with 5 spindly legs.
Shit.
He claimed that these cryptid apex predators were discovered in the ice and were somehow reanimated, but they turned on the team and escaped. The creatures were said to be living in the restricted no-go zones of Antarctica. The story goes further and further into the user's father, and it's all mad stuff. There's parts where there's caged spiders who are being fed children who are trafficked from around the world.
That sounds true.
He tries to go public with all these findings and he's court-martialed and locked away. Speculation is that this upload is fabricated, and it was actually inspired by the sci-fi film Ice Spiders, which came out in 2017.
Did you see it?
I did not. But
Surprised.
It's also saying that the story is actually part of a treatment to actually make a movie about cool ice spiders as well. They're the detractors. Now, yeah, Rob, we've talked about maximum spider sizes before, and here we are once more revisiting our great Genesis.
Yeah. Tell him.
You want me to go on?
You tell him. I know I've got the LC for this
That's
episode
all right.
coming.
There is a maximum cap on the size insects or spiders can grow to. It was previously believed that this was due to the physical weight of exoskeletons being unable to support themselves under gravity.
Wrong.
However, studies on the subject now indicate it may be due to how insects breathe. They absorb oxygen entirely differently to humans, using a series of holes along their body. Scientists now believe this explains how prehistoric insects were able to achieve much larger sizes, as this form of breathing would only be able to sustain larger sizes if the oxygen levels of the atmosphere were significantly higher, which was the case, and this is believed to be what happened during the times of the dinosaurs.
Yeah, before them, even the Carboniferous. I think Carboniferous is before them. I always get mixed up with that, but I'm fairly sure Carboniferous was before him, and that was when you had dragonflies the size of cars.
Yeah.
Massive ass spiders, big ass scorpions the size of us.
Not cool.
Yeah, it would have been weird, wouldn't
Wouldn't
it?
have liked that now. I really actually wouldn't like that. The more I thought about it, I just had
Giant scorpion.
giant spiders, giant score. I don't want that in my life. I have enough problems.
Massive centipedes as well.
You wouldn't be able to have, like, could you have windows anymore? Would you have to just board everything up?
Well, I don't think we could survive in that environment.
Would we get giant?
No, the oxygen would be too much for us, I think.
No, but we might
We'd
get
die with big
massive,
mad.
giant man.
Yeah. No, I don't think we work that way. But I don't know. But yeah, no, the Carboniferous mad times, big insects, basically. The whole planet was basically a swamp.
Big bugsy.
Full of bastard insects. Now, Eamon, I wasn't dreaming.
This is the thing.
It wasn't a fever dream. March 18th, 2025, so not that long ago. Scientists at Antarctic base rocked by alleged assault.
Class.
Imagine that now, you're stuck out on a base with some bastard that's fucking going around assaulting everyone.
That does sound like the stuff of nightmares.
A group of scientists due to work together for months have been rocked after a member of the team was accused of physical assault. A team of 9 researchers were due to spend the whole winter in Antarctica. It was a South African run base. Fucking cunt! Punching them and all. No, fucking guys. Which sits about 170 km, about 105 miles from the edge of the ice shelf and is difficult to reach. But a spokesman for the South African government told the BBC there was an assault at the station following earlier allegations of inappropriate behaviour from inside the camp.
Okay, this sounds more like a sex thing than a
YouTube algorithm sort of vibes.
Yeah, I don't.
I
can understand someone going mad. I don't understand sexual pests.
South Africa's Sunday Times, which was the first to report the story, said members of the team were pleading to be rescued.
Oh, wow.
Imagine that. The ministry said that the team had been subject to a number of evaluations that included background checks, reference checks, medical assessments, as well as psychometric evaluation by qualified professionals, which all members are cleared. So, but now someone's gone mad.
Yeah,
but let's see what else is there. So they're handling the incident, but it's going to take them a very long time to get to them. Interestingly, the base typically houses staff who stay through the Antarctic winter for approximately 13 months.
Interesting.
Yeah, the department said allegations of YouTube algorithm type behaviour were also being investigated, but that reports of YouTube algorithm behaviour was incorrect.
So it's just a fella who went mad.
Gone mad.
Yeah. Lads go mad. It doesn't surprise me that someone would go mad in the Arctic. It
Apparently,
doesn't surprise me at all. I would go mad in the Arctic.
Do you know how, like, when you hear about incidents that you're not involved in, like, oftentimes the only reason you hear about them is because they were probably really awful for the people that were there. And, like, to us, it's kind of a trivial thing, and you go, oh, haha, an incident.
Well, even the fact that we're talking about Robo Hitler coming back in a Nazi
terrible incident as well.
Nazi colored a swastika spaceship to fight the Israelis while they
terrible incident.
Yeah, you kind of go, oh god, what's next in the newspaper?
So
it is mad, yeah.
They said, so this is what's interesting about it is that it apparently was deeply disturbing behaviour, and that there was an environment of fear. Now,
I'd say so.
We're hearing about
there's 90s and Bunny is a maniac.
So yeah, we're reading this and we're going like, oh yeah, whatever. Like, but to them, like, what would you to actually get this reported about in a paper and to also be at the level where you have to constantly write stuff and try and get stuff out? Like, that motherfucker must be going around covered in his own shit with an axe or something. Yeah.
No one died, right? No one got injured.
The assault was triggered by a dispute over a task that the team leader wanted the team to do. A weather-dependent task that required a schedule change. Okay. Oh, schedule change.
Don't mess with my schedule.
Yeah. It's not neurotypical now. It was a bit neurospicy.
Oh, your man was a bit atypical.
Must be. Incidents in Antarctica are rare, but they're not unprecedented. In 2018, there was reports of a stabbing a Russian operation.
I'm not surprised, man. Like, there's nothing to do in these places either. It must suck.
I love it. Class.
Would you? I don't know. Anyway.
Does it have fibre optic out there?
I don't know.
All right.
Hopefully. Rob, the largest invertebrate in the world is the colossal squid. And that was found in the frozen waters of Antarctica.
Oh.
That was found in 2003, and it's the last cryptid that was found in Antarctica.
Checkmate.
Not to be confused with the giant spider, which is definitely true. What do you think? What do you think about all this madness? The picture itself, if it hasn't been tampered with,
real,
then I have questions. Like, what is that?
Yeah.
What is that picture?
It looks like it could be like people from a distance, or like some kind of weird, like something.
Sailors carrying a boat. I'm sure it is something like that because it's so far away. But when you actually see the full picture, like it's the resolution is quite high. The one I have is zoomed in there to kind of get a better look at it. Yeah, it probably isn't a big spider thing with five. It could be.
I think it is a giant
spider. Could be the jellyfish UFO.
Could be.
The jellyfish UFO has legs.
Could be Hitler's base.
Could be Hitler's small base. It's just his brain in like, it's like Krang, but in a spider thing. Where are the tattoos? Stuff like that.
Could be.
It could be. Is that stuff more likely or less likely than a giant spider wandering freely in the restricted areas of the Arctic?
Well, you know, us idiots think we have it all sewn up, Eamon.
And I do think that regularly when
and
I
we
wake
don't.
up. Sometimes I wake up and I just think to myself, I have this all sewn up. I know what's going on.
Everyone's genius until we meet a giant spider in Antarctica.
Yeah.
And we question ourselves and go, I thought this could only happen in the Carboniferous.
Yeah. I'm taught that only in the jungle.
And then it's too late, you're getting it.
I mean,
it's like your man with the bears that was living with him thought he was fucking the bear whisperer.
Nom nom.
Then he got it.
Nom nom.
Black
like that swan, you know?
Do you think
they thought there was only white swans,
but
then there was a black swan. So technically, there could be a rainbow colored swan that we just haven't found yet.
Could be.
Maybe there is. Yeah. You know? I wonder what mascot that would be used for.
Yeah.
It would be actually a really cool mascot, wouldn't it? LGBTQI plus a something. But swan.
It would be better on a flamingo. I feel like flamingos are the gay bird.
But it's not all about the gays, man. It's about the trans. It's about the asexuals.
But flamingos with rainbows.
I think the black lads are in it now as well. I think everyone's just in it. Like, I think it's just like whatever the thing is.
Lesbian, gay,
like
Chinese.
Yeah. The A stands for anti-gun. Like, I think they're all just merged into one.
Oh yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I'm trying to think about where Hitler's hiding at the minute. And I'm kind
Space,
of
man. He's hiding in plain sight. He's hiding in UAPs.
Poor old Gaddafi had to die for fucking Hitler to go off living.
Did he though?
Yeah,
or is that just another conspiracy?
That was deep fake.
Gaddafi never left. You know what I mean? Saddam Hussein is living out in Gory. You know?
Poor old Saddam.
Poor old Saddam. I'd love to know what disc of Final Fantasy 7 he got to. I hope that he got to past the first.
No, that was Osama.
Oh, that was Osama. Oh, yeah. Where he's in bug clothing.
Yeah.
There's a network of terrorists in Wexford. Osama is in bug clothing. That's right.
Liked, I think he had like Dude, Where's My Car or something on his PC.
What else do you like? If you have Dude, Where's My Car and Final Fantasy 7 on the PS1, I live in a cave too. Sure, what else do you need?
Exactly, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like being in Antarctica. Sure.
Ashton Kutcher and Sean William Scott given the performance of a lifetime.
Yeah, I think he was into that. He was into a lot of things.
Do you have any prawn?
I don't think so. He's a good man.
I'd say also no. As long as it has white bitches in it, he doesn't care. As long as they're white women, infidels.
I don't know.
I'd say he had a bit of prawn.
No, I don't think so.
What else you can do in a game with Final
Fantasy?
No,
I don't think so, man. He was playing Final Fantasy. He's grand. Stop being so
off himself.
Stop putting yourself on Osama there, brother.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, I'm putting my own.
You're projecting
heteronormal
projecting your
cisgender male stance.
Your cave dwelling behavior.
Yeah, no, I'd definitely be touching myself in the cave.
I'm mad though. You're enjoying Final Fantasy 7 1 minute. And like you're like enjoying the same thing we're enjoying.
Robots busting through the doors.
And then the next thing is you're hiding behind the table with an AK-47 fighting a lot of Navy SEALs.
Yeah.
A bit mad, like, isn't it?
It's scary. Did they use, because I know what the last fella Trump got
Yeah.
in the last election or the last presidential one. Wasn't it like robots and dogs broke into like that place?
Yeah, maybe.
Can you imagine how terrifying it is to be playing Final Fantasy VII? You've just left Midgar and robots and dogs break through your door. Wow.
Yeah, Osama was SEAL Team 6, wasn't it?
Yes.
That was them boys. Hoorah. Trying to get him.
All right. Nigel Mansell and
Yeah,
the boys. Yeah.
Yeah, no. That was it. What do you think about that, Eamon? Spiders in Antarctica, probably real.
Yeah. I think so. There's definitely spiders in Antarctica, but are there giant ones that breach the surface? And
Are there actual spiders though, or is it just the ones that
there
live
are
under the
actually
water?
Antarctica? Like I couldn't use them because I had to use the giant sea
Right,
spider.
but there is
because
actually little spiders.
Gigantism
Right.
wasn't important. No, there's like fucking pretty badass looking Antarctic spiders.
Oh,
Arctic
like
spiders.
tarantula kind of size.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know if they're that size. They look that way. Furry, shaking
tiny,
their
though.
ass.
but sure, that little small spider is hairy. Little cute one. You ever see him? The cute spider.
Oh, the fellow with all the eyes.
Yeah.
I thought it was
He's
something.
small.
I thought it was something that couldn't be done to make a spider cute, but I was corrected. I was corrected when I saw that cute spider.
Spiders can have an air of cuteness about
Yeah,
them.
especially they've cartoonized spiders in the past to look cute. Not an easy task. The spider is a terrifying creature, to my mind.
Not many great qualities about them, is there? Unless you just appreciate.
There's actually a lot of cool stuff they can do.
That's what I'm saying. If you look at them like from a cool lens,
Yeah,
you're like,
very
oh, look
cool.
good. But then any other lens, you're like, not
very
really.
scary, and leave me alone.
Yeah, I'm not afraid of them, but some of my idiot mates now are really afraid of them, like to the point of just being like, get a grip.
It's. I
Like,
think it's the
get
feeling
a
of
grip.
something that would be on you it skitters around and it moves too fast for you to stop it. But
I
yeah,
know,
I'm
I
not
get
super freaked out by spiders. I don't love them, but I'll touch them.
I called down to two of my friends, this is no word of a lie, one time, and pulled up outside the house, and the two of them were standing outside the front door, the door open, and
Hardly.
I rocked up to him. I was like, "What are you doing?" Oh, there's a spider up in the bedroom there. Can you take it down? I was like,
Lads.
"You joking me or what?"
Well, like just one of the regular
House
big
spider,
garden
like,
spiders
yeah.
like that big. Yeah, they are everywhere.
Common
like.
house spider.
Yeah. No, we were in the apartment in Dublin. We were up there one day. There's a giant one of those just walking around the floor. You just get on with your life, like.
Oh, they're grand, yeah.
They might get into your mouth in the middle of the night.
Generally, I'll cup them lads and they're getting out.
Yeah.
They're going back out. Lads.
But sometimes they move too fast.
Oh yeah, no. If they go, it's grand. I'm not mad. But like, if
usually
I
sing
can
them
get
a
them, I'll
song.
get them.
I try to sing them a song to make them feel more comfortable.
The spiders.
Slow down, boy.
Can they hear?
moving
Do
fast.
spiders have ears?
Ears?
Do they hear? Like,
I'd say they feel vibrations. If I was a
doubt they
gambling
sing.
man. Do spider.
can't check.
What happened to that? It's all right. I
Not
have the
dead.
superior Android device over here.
No, I don't.
Do spiders have ears? Whoever my CIA agent is on a Monday and Tuesday, whenever we record this, he's probably just like, "What's going on with that, lads?"
Yeah,
Search.
well, like it's like a psychotic lunatic would search.
Yeah. Once a week, the man goes bananas. Do spiders poop?
They do.
Do they?
Yeah.
Do spiders have ears? Here we go. Oh, AI overview.
Yeah, they always do that now. The cons.
Yeah, they're right too, though. It is handier, to be fair. They don't have ears in the traditional sense. However, they can still hear or detect sound through specialized hairs on their legs that are sensitive to
Hairs,
vibrations.
fair play to them.
Once again,
Musical
Eamon
animal.
O'Neill. Put on your feet.
So they can that's class. They probably get a right buzz out of a bit of music. Like, I wonder if they've done any studios with spiders and music.
That would be pretty cool.
I have seen spiders dance before, so I'm wondering.
That can't be real.
No, it is, yeah. On
Dancing
a web.
spiders.
If they're a web and they're like a subwoofer or something, they're fucking jamming out.
Can spiders dance?
They can. I'm telling you, there's videos of dancing spiders out there, bud.
Can spiders dance?
I think it's probably time to go, is it?
I'd love to finish this episode. Yeah.
I'm tired.
Yeah.
Very sleepy. Thurshock, as they would say in Irish.
I'm always too wired after these. Yeah, so usually
That's
what
because
it
you have a
is-
coffee when you come in, though, like a big dirty bitch.
Yeah, but otherwise I'd be
too tired.
low energy.
Ah.
Oh my god! Some
So sorry.
spiders, particularly male peacock spiders, are known to perform elaborate
Yeah, I
courtship
told
dances
you.
to
I
attract.
told you spiders dance.
Whoa!
Do you think I was making that up?
I
Like,
did.
man, as you know, everyone refers to me as the David Attenborough of Wexford.
Everybody does. Yeah, that is
It's
true.
common enough name for me. But we'll leave it there. That was a class one.
Probably one of the best episodes we've ever done. The second giant spider episode, to my knowledge. Although we could have done a different giant spider, I don't remember. The Moog, I know recently he was like said the thing, and he was going like, "You guys should do the exorcism of Annalise Michelle," and I was like, "I think we did that in January 2023." But I had forgotten as well. I had to go and check.
The Simpsons did it.
Yeah.
The Fuzz did it. All right, lads. I've been Rob.
I've been Eamon.
Monsterful is over now.